One of my favorite moments in Attack on Titan is when Eren Yeager finally gets to open up the basement with the key his father gave him, and I could not believe what I found inside. A subscribe button, which, once pressed, gave Eren a brief history lesson regarding the war between the Marlians and the Eldians. Oh, and it also gave him the latest anime analyzed content, which is arguably better than a history lesson. Hey friends, Anime Analyzed here, and welcome to another episode of Something of Significance, where this time I'll be delving into Shingeki no Kyojin, one of the greatest comedies of our generation. Okay, I'm kidding. It's obviously not a comedy, but I do find parts of it to be amazingly hilarious. I even find its name hilarious. The English translation is supposed to be The Attack Titan, and for some reason no one caught that, and now we're stuck with Attack on Titan. Yeah. But anyways, I wanted to talk about alcohol. Yes, alcohol, and without any context whatsoever, let's dive right in. Alcohol is an important part of the story in two major ways. One is as a storytelling device, and another as a symbol for deception. So it's obvious how important alcohol, namely wine, is in the story. Zeke injects his Titan's spinal fluid into some wine that he uses to trap the Eldian army and turn all of Levi's men into Titans, yada yada. Of course, this is an extremely important development and deserves much more attention than I'll give it right now, but I'm going to be looking at alcohol from a much earlier scene, being Gelgar's death. First of all, I bet you probably don't remember who Gelgar is, but this is he. In Season 2, he's one of the higher-ranking members of the Scouting Regiment who fights off the Titans around the castle. He is very much what one might call an inconsequential character, but his death scene might literally be my favorite scene in all of Attack on Titan. Okay, so hear me out. The thing that first got me into Attack on Titan is the raw nihilism that it portrayed. And I know you might feel otherwise, but come on, if you don't enjoy that sort of stuff even a little bit, there's no way you would have gotten past the second episode. So back to Gelgar. He and his partner Nanaba find themselves overwhelmed trying to fight the Titans, and at a certain point Gelgar gets caught in the grip of one of the Titans. Nanaba jumps down to save him, and he is flung into the castle. However, in doing so, Nanaba runs out of gas and gets stuck on the wall where she is predictably eaten by the Titans. So far so good. We have a perfect "I'll give up my life to save yours" story. Very wholesome. But then here's where things get interesting. Without so much as a glance back at the woman who gave up her life to save his, Gelgar slowly gets up and finds a bottle of alcohol. He says thank God and opens it up to take a swig, only to realize that it had been emptied by Krista to help heal Reiner's wound. As Gelgar sits there pitifully holding an empty bottle of alcohol, a Titan appears in the background. Gelgar is unceremoniously picked up as he throws a temper tantrum, asking who drank the alcohol, before swiftly bonking his head on the ceiling and dying probably a painless death. And the anime takes this even further because you see drops of alcohol actually falling out of the bottle, but none actually land in his mouth. Instead of seeing what little he has to live for, Gelgar gets caught in the sheer anguish of the situation. At the risk of over-explaining this joke, the irony here is that he is unable to enjoy the thing he wished for even though it was right there in front of him. So let's recap. The person who Nanaba sacrificed herself for is an ungrateful Gelgar who is killed anyways. Before his death, he finds a bottle of alcohol, which is the one thing he wished to drink before he died. Except it was empty, but also it wasn't empty, and his anguish over the fact that it was empty caused him to not even enjoy what little was actually left in the bottle. Why was it empty? Because it was used to heal Reiner, who could have actually healed on his own anyways because of the power of his Titan. Not to mention Reiner is actually working for the other side, specifically Zeke, who is the Beast Titan who is causing this mess in the first place. Like, how many levels of irony are you on, my dude? So yes, at first glance this scene is set up as this heartfelt tragedy, but picking away at its layers little by little we see it's actually kind of hilarious. Now, I don't claim to say that all of Attack on Titan is a dark comedy. I mean, there are some scenes in Attack on Titan, especially the scene where Eren's mother dies, that's just purely tragic. And I certainly want to discuss this in a separate video because this scene is also up there as one of my favorite scenes in Attack on Titan. But honestly, that's kinda what makes me enjoy this show so much. It's multifaceted, and not in a One Piece or Naruto sort of way. Its various hues are nuanced and subtle and require thought. I actually can't remember a single time that there was a gag joke in this series. But in scenes like this, it makes me chuckle in a different way and scratches a different itch. It's almost like, pardon the pun, drinking fine wine. It's an acquired taste for most, but there's just so much more to discover. And there's also a lot more to discover on my channel. Please subscribe and like this video if you liked it. Let me hear your thoughts in the comments below. Trust me, I read them all. I'll catch y'all later.